Today on Blind Tag Wrestling News Now, we have all of the insanity from a jam-packed go-home to the draft edition of Monday Night Raw.
AEW officially announces the location of their next pay-per-view Full Gear as we ponder the possible main event.
And Alexa Bliss may not be on our TV screens for a long time, but she's obviously living rent-free in the heads of everyone as rumors persist on her future.
Indeed.
They do. And Lily's future is really up in the air.
Yeah. we don't know if the surgery is going to go well.
You know, these things, face transplants can't be, I've heard some crazy rumors. Yeah. And I mean, some crazy rumors. We'll get to that.
Yes.
But hi-oh.
Hey-oh.
I don't like the rumors very much. Hi, I'm John.
I'm Raja.
And this is Blind Tag Wrestling News Now, and I guess we really need to start out with something you're not expecting. Because you think I'm going to go Monday Night Raw.
Yes, I was.
And there's all kinds of stories coming out of last night's Raw, but
yes,
I got to do another Reza Raw for you. Okay. So I was listening to a podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I do these kind of things, and I want to give credit because I'm not a thieving stealer. Not a thieving, stealer, conniving canoodle. I am not.
That's good to know.
So I was listening to Jim Cornette's Experience because I like to listen to everything. And I heard Brian last as they were doing their, and by the way, it was like such a surreal experience. Anybody who knows anything about the Jim Cornette podcast knows he's not always been the biggest fan of AEW.
Right.
It's like the world shifted.
Uh-huh.
Now he's putting AEW over tremendously.
Wow.
And really upset with NXT.
Is that the surprise?
That's not the surprise. The surprise was something they brought up.
Okay.
And this is great. So I have to pull this out. And again, my credit goes to the great Brian Last. There you are, sir. Wherever you may have gotten this from, or if you did the work yourself, then kudos to you. So I thought you might be interested. You like pro wrestling.
Yes.
You're a big fan of watching wrestling on a wrestling program.
Yes.
All right. That's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
So, in watching wrestling on a wrestling program, and not including New Japan Pro Wrestling, which would be obviously the winner here.
Right.
We do realize that in episodic television, it's normally 44 minutes of TV, and then the rest is commercials. Mm-hmm. So, keeping that in mind.
Okay.
Do you want to take a gander at some times of actual wrestling from the last week of shows?
I'd say it's quite a difference between shows.
So I will start out with the worst. Okay. SmackDown came in with 15 minutes of wrestling per hour.
Oh my God.
Next, NXT came in with 17 minutes of wrestling per hour.
That's not much better.
Monday Night Raw came in with a whopping 19 minutes of wrestling per hour.
Wow.
NXT UK, which I don't know why we're counting that. I mean, I don't know if they actually have anything else, but they came in with 29 minutes of wrestling per hour.
Well, not that bad.
No.
Not that bad.
AEW Rampage came in with 36 minutes of wrestling per hour.
That's good.
And the best was AEW Dynamite with 37 minutes of wrestling per hour.
Well, that's about what you would expect between promos and commercials.
Yeah, I mean, you're only given like 8 minutes, 9 minutes, something like that. If that, for promos, which is pretty astounding actually in today's world.
Yeah.
Because they actually do a lot more promos than they were doing.
Yeah. But when you're giving half the show.
Or more. When it's 15 minutes of wrestling.
That's half an hour of non-wrestling content per hour.
Bro.
Come on.
Lots of bro.
Got to do better.
Wow. So, Monday Night Raw. Yes. Tell me about that slapping 16 minutes of wrestling.
Well, we started out as promised with Big E versus Bobby Lashley.
Yes.
But that didn't last very long,
Yeah, unfortunately, that didn't last.
There was this beautiful moment where Big E sent Bobby Lashley out to the apron and he hit this spear through the rope to the floor. It was gorgeous. But then when Big E stands up, who should be standing there but a jolly old elf and ate reindeer. It was the Hurt Business.
Okay.
Might as well be Santa Claus.
So let me just get this straight. And I just want to throw this out there. I've seen a lot of excitement. Oh, yeah, they brought the Hurt Business back. Well, why didn't you just bring back DX or Four Horsemen? You know, I mean, my God, can we fan service a little bit? And I get it, but man, it would be nice to have a reason.
Like, why aren't they still mad
That
they got
fired?
beat up and fired?
Yeah.
Like, why did they come back?
Yeah.
But I mean, I know this gets resolved later in the night, but we talked about the importance of winners in such matches. And this is the stupidest disqualification I've ever seen.
No. The stupidest disqualification you've ever seen was that one when piece of the flimsy part of the table.
Piece of the table. I apologize.
Sorry.
I apologize. This is not the stupidest
I would normally
one.
not correct you. But.
It's up there. It's up there because the New Day came out, obviously, to take care of the Hurt Business, and they're brawling with each other, and they just so happen to somehow roll into the ring and interrupt a pinfall, and that's a disqualification. When they weren't even, like, messing with the guys in the match, really.
Yeah, and you know what? It wouldn't bother me as bad if they were consistent.
Yeah.
So if it was very consistent and you got anywhere near the ring during a match in WWE, it was like, oh, hey, whoa, DQ, pal.
That happens.
That's not how it happens. It happens at the behest of whoever says, you know, hey, we'll do this, we'll do the schmoz.
Yes.
And it just makes no sense because you can't keep up with it.
No,
And
but
it's
of course.
just like the booking.
It set up the main event
Yeah, of course.
of Big E versus Bobby Lashley in a steel cage.
It reminded me very, very hardcore of, let's put Roman on at the first and the last.
Let's let Roman wrestle in every match.
Let's put Big E 55 times.
So yes, steel cage match for the main event.
New day.
The steel cage is
Hurt
already
Business.
there, by the way.
Yeah.
They already had it ready. Just in case. You never know when you're going to need a cage.
Maybe the steel cage is always there.
Maybe.
You never know.
We just don't notice it.
Maybe in kayfabe it just lives there. Every arena has a steel cage hanging from the top.
So following this, we had a 24/7 title match between Reginald and Ricochet, which had absolutely nothing to do with Ricochet liking a tweet earlier. That was kind of not good for WWE. But that didn't last very long. Reginald won. Or it was a disqualification, I guess.
Reginald's the longest.
Mm-hmm. The longest reigning 24/7 champion at 70 days. Congratulations.
I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, awesome. And
following this up, Akira Tozawa stayed in the ring for the return of Keith Bearcat Lee.
yes.
Quick squash there.
Yeah, Bearcat Lee came out. Again, I have no problem with this. It's a good nod to not just one, but two famous African-American pro wrestlers from the past, both with the name Bearcat. So pretty excited about that. And, you know, anything that gets Keith Lee in there in action, mixes it up and stuff. I mean, you know, people, I don't know why they would complain about a name when it's not, you know, Silly Pants.
Right.
You know, Keith Silly Pants Lee would be a problem. I don't have a problem with Bearcat.
No.
Except
history.
if you look up a Bearcat, I've got a problem with what comes up.
You know what I have a problem with?
The fact that it's not a bear or a cat.
Them doing a no DQ, no count out match the night after Extreme Rules for the United States Championship.
You know, you can't try using sense. Will you stop?
I'm sorry.
You got to stop. You got to live in that world.
So Damian Priest beat Sheamus and kept the United States Championship again. Again.
Not seen them before.
We had a couple matches. Jeff Hardy teamed with Mansoor and Mustafa Ali against Jinder Mahal and his dudes.
Feels like we've seen it a lot.
Maybe. Jackson Riker versus Karrion Kross happened.
And Karrion still had to carry-ons.
Yes. Then we had Charlotte Flair beating up Doudrop for a minute. I don't know.
There was a lot of excitement going into that open challenge.
Yes.
Hoping that there would be a match.
And then there was a moment after this where Eva Marie stayed in the ring.
This was strange.
Yeah.
This was weird.
She's like, if it was my shot, I would have won the championship. And then Shayna Baszler came out to shut her up.
Shayna's babyface turn. Because everybody treated her like a babyface
She's
for beating the piss out of Eva Marie.
Yeah, she's
for breaking her arm on the steps. For breaking her arm.
They said one more time.
Chanting one more time. Now, listen. There is fixable people.
Yes.
When people get booed, sometimes it might just be an area thing, a regional thing. Yeah. Sometimes it may be just needing a rehash, or maybe they were overexposed or something like that. Mm-hmm. Then there's chanting one more time when you're getting your arm broken.
And you're like, what do you do?
Eva Marie may need the model again. Maybe. Just maybe.
Now we have to talk about this Goldberg promo.
My God. This might be when you want to move the kids out of the room.
So Goldberg
this is weird.
Addressed Bobby Lashley. You know how Bobby Lashley choked out his son, Gage Goldberg.
I would have done it too.
Oh, goodness.
Has a chokeable face.
He's talking about how he made a promise when Gage was born that he would protect him from anything and anyone who wanted to hurt him. But Bobby Lashley hurt his son.
He's in the hurt business.
God. So what Goldberg said, and I quote, "I'm going to hurt you real bad. Hell, if I'm lucky enough, I'll kill you."
I'll kill you.
Yeah, just with a straight face.
See, there's certain things in pro wrestling. Don't introduce a knife in the ring, even though it's no DQ. Gun. Try not to drop F-bombs. Don't threaten to kill someone. See, there's this kayfabe line that we kind of have a gentleman's agreement not to cross.
Right.
Murder.
It's generally one of those.
It kind of leans that way, as long as you're not wrestling.
He added on to it. He's like, I'm going to enjoy every second of it.
Yeah.
He's
okay.
like...
So it's a new character change for Goldberg. Character change for Goldberg. Character change for Goldberg. Mongo love character change.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Mongo love Dexter. Yeah, so maybe he's going to be a serial killer, and we're going to find out that all the like anybody in creative was murdered by Goldberg. And they're just going to blame it all on WCW.
There you go.
Retcon it all. To be like, it started years ago. Years ago. Right around 2001. Things started taking a slide. And that's when we found out. We found out all these years. It was Vince Russo. He was screwing us the whole time. Bischoff came up here. He was part of it. They were actually friends. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I would believe it.
Oh, so
that's not good.
That's the new feud.
Not happy
Goldberg
about that.
trying to murder Bobby Lashley.
Unless they do the murder.
Unless they actually
I mean, if we just go that way, and it becomes like Sons of Anarchy, they're like, we're TV. The hell with it. He's a made man.
Wouldn't be the first time they killed someone, I guess.
No, they've killed a few people. They usually pop back, though.
We also got a very good match between AJ Styles and Riddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was a good match.
It was.
It really was.
And then our main event.
Sometimes you can't tell the condescension.
And then a main event between Big E and Bobby Lashley.
What a main event. Didn't see that coming.
In steel cage.
Yeah.
For no interference, with lots of interference.
Remember when AEW a few weeks ago built up the whole steel cage they have, and they did it going on the Go Home show, showing how nobody could get in the cage. Mm-hmm. They could have greased it up and not shown it any better. Right. Like whoop 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 whoop, having people fall off, and then nobody interfered in the match except for the one, but still not interference. And this no. Now, WWE cage matches have always been horrible, right? Because it's always been escape, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
Not a fan of that rule.
It's never made sense to me. As soon as they get in there, they're trying to get out. It just looks so cowardly to me. Like it's always been a problem to me. Like it's so stupid.
At least this time, Big E won with the big ending.
I grew up in Crockett territory, where cage matches was the end to a feud, and it meant that it was going to be blood and violence and a blow off of that feud.
Right. That seems to be what this was, because Drew McIntyre came out.
Yes.
After the fact and
pointed his big long thing
at Big E.
At Big E.
Oh. Yes, we get that now.
Yeah, well, what we get now is next up will be the draft.
Yes.
And they did fit as much as they could into this. If you're just watching this for, excitement and entertainment, I mean, it was there.
One thing they didn't fit in was Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
She wasn't there.
Speaking of which, rumors persist of Alexa Bliss's future coming out of the pay-per-view. And especially the way that after the Charlotte match at Extreme Rules, you had the ripped up doll, you had the awkward 5 minutes of crying, you had the questionable looking, thing in Alexa's mouth dribbling out.
Right.
And there's been a report from Wrestling Inc. coming out since then stating that their sources are telling them that Alexa may be taking some time off. Now, of course, take this with a grain of salt. We don't know. It's rumors. That's how rumors work.
Right.
But it seems that they're saying that it could be several months that she's taken off, which doesn't make a lot of sense if you're looking going into Christmas, you're looking at the Lily dolls, you're looking at, big characters and what have you.
Merch sales.
But if you're doing a character change, it would make some sense because she would have to be rehashed a bit.
Yeah.
To get back
point.
to bubbly Alexa or whatever you want to do with her. Or even going full...
Even worse, Alexa.
Yeah, going full Fiend, which some of the rumors were the Lily mask on the face, which, oh my God.
I don't want to see that.
I will admit that would creep me out. I will admit that. The Lily mask on the face.
Ew.
Maybe kind of hot to me.
No.
Sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. It was just the first thought of it was just.
I hope we get old Alexa back.
Oh, Alexa Black.
Yes.
I miss
related
Alexa
to
Black.
Malachi Black.
Yeah. Just. So that's the rumor, and that's where I'm going to keep it.
Yeah. We don't know.
But speaking of things that happen with ROW participants, there was also some things floating around about Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Wrapped in an enigma.
Yes.
Made up in a mystery. And Matt Riddle just recently had an interview, right?
Yes, on Out of Character with Ryan Satin.
Ryan Satin, Mr. Twitter.
There was this whole segment about lessons he had learned since moving up to the main roster. And of course, we know Riddle has gotten in a little trouble with his words.
Yes, just a little bit.
What he had to say about that was that he realizes that it's entertainment and maybe don't talk so much crap.
Yeah. Yeah, he said that it's different from being in the independents and, being in MMA. That when he got to WWE, it was really more of an old school mentality of respect. And he got in trouble for, not shaking Randy's hand. Like Randy didn't even like him at first.
Yeah, but he was like, I thought he was busy. He's Randy Orton. I didn't want to bother him.
Yeah, but I mean, I fall on the side of Randy Orton with this.
Yeah.
Just from being around,
the old school.
Maybe go through, shake the veterans' hands, and even at least attempt to.
He knows now.
And, does he?
Well, he's learning.
I honestly, this whole interview, which I invite you to find it, look it out, because it's actually really good. The whole thing about it felt kind of kayfabe-ish to me. Like, kind of playing into his... danger of Matt Riddle.
Right.
Because he pointed out his team with Pete Dunne and how that happened too, and how he came up to him and just said this, and they became a tag team. The fans loved it, and maybe the fear is there, and how he might win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they did mention that.
Yeah, so pulling that out, which is going to. In the world of kayfabe, he was like, I really love Randy, man. I'm learning so much from him.
Yeah, he called him his spirit guide.
Right. But at the same time, he's talking about how he is, who he is. And I smell kayfabe on this to an using some of the stuff that's actually happened. And working yourself into a shoot, pal. Or shooting yourself into a work.
Right.
Anyway.
That's what he does on a regular basis.
Yes, no doubt. But either way, I mean, it could just be Riddle being, high.
Yeah.
You never
he could
know.
just be talking out of his...
Still, yeah, interesting. Interesting his take on everything. And
I love RK Bro, though. I hope they keep him around for a while.
Yeah, it's a tag team. It's not going to be here for long.
And obviously, they're still working on that AJ Styles and Omos.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So let's move on to a little AEW news.
Just a little bit. There was finally something settled, correct?
Yes, they finally settled on the date and the place for Full Gear, their next pay-per-view and final pay-per-view of the year. It'll be on Saturday, November 12th at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah, maybe they'll have Jesse Ventura. He's an old WWE favorite that show up there.
Oh, goodness.
Former Minnesota governor. Yeah,
so
exciting, though. I mean, just because of us thinking about what may be the main event.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson, maybe?
No, I mean, it's possible. I mean, Bryan Danielson, Kenny
Rematch?
Omega title match. Everybody wants to see it.
Yes.
Which
and
is interesting because...
there was a beautiful promo, kind of interview with Bryan Danielson on AEW Dark Elevation, where they did it right after his match with Kenny Omega. He still got like the bruises on him and everything. Right. And he's talking about the match, and he was like talking about how it made him feel alive, and that he's been out of wrestling since April, but he's been out of pro wrestling for a long time. And that full bore, like, give it all you got.
Oh, yeah.
Mentality. Like,
Absolutely.
he said it felt amazing, and that pro wrestling is magic, basically.
Yeah.
So he wants to climb his way back through the ranks and beat everyone he could possibly beat to get back to the title picture. Because his next goal is the title.
Yeah.
He wants the title.
Yeah, man, I hope he gets the title. I mean, I can't wait to see the match.
Yeah, me too.
Again. I mean, Jesus Lord. I don't know if I can take it again.
Right.
But take it with no time limit and
Would be a 60-minute.
And what was really cool was him saying, I understand the ranking system. And I understand that. And I want to fight my way up through it. And I realize that Kenny Omega has put the tweet out saying that, no rematch.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. I love how it's working. That's the correct move.
Yes.
You know.
But if he gets back to the number one contendership,
Yeah.
Kenny Omega doesn't have a choice.
Even if you look at the top 5, though, it's some interesting Danielson matches.
Oh.
It really is.
You think a month and a half is long enough for him to climb his way up there?
Beating the piss out of Jungle Boy.
Oh, yeah.
That just it's a
that match. I want to see that match.
Rite of passage. There's a lot of matches I want to see.
Orange Cassidy.
That's the fun part about right now in AEW is all of this talent that's there and all the dream matches that can be had. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see some of these matches. They're going to take place, but Full Gear, we have a lot of time to get there. And, I'm pretty excited about, the fact that it's been announced because they were going back and forth with the date and they were like, I think
they had to move it.
It was on the same date, like as a fight or something.
There was like a big UFC card as well as like a super big boxing match.
Right. Which is so smart because a lot of times people won't move that stuff. So
yeah, no.
We're pretty excited about
TK's like, oh, we got to do it another night.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, it's smart. It's good business. So
yes.
I don't know. I tell you, man, I'm pretty excited about this week because we still have the is it or is it not? Because there's even rumors still that Bray Wyatt may return to WWE. There's rumors about what we've talked about with Rochester. So very excited about that. We've got a lot of big things coming up this week. We've got NXT to observe again tonight.
Woo.
To see how that works. So we'll be here with you for all of it, all the news, rumors, excitement, innuendos, all that stuff. We'll find it if it's there.
Yes,
but I didn't give a fact yesterday, or I didn't give a tip.
Oh no.
I feel like I need to give a tip.
Didn't warn anybody about anything.
I know, man. I know, and I need to warn you now. If you feel like you're about to froth at the mouth, make sure they don't get a down shot. It's never good. You never know when that situation may happen, and now you can direct the camera. For Raja, I'm John. So long from Blind Tag Wrestling News Now.
Bye.
Bye.